Welcome back, or welcome to the Level Up Health Education Podcast. My name is Jeff Bartlett, and I'm here to help you level up your teaching. Hey everyone, Jeff here. Today I want to talk about a topic that I've spoken about before in a previous episode, episode 4, where I talked about what I do to try to build connections with my students throughout the year. Because right now we are at the end of one semester and at the start of another semester. And so this is very much on the minds of a lot of teachers I work with and a lot of teachers everywhere, I would think so, about how we can continue to build connections with students and, more importantly, build authentic connections with our students. Building connections with our students is something we do all day and every day. That's just part of being a teacher. It's part of the job. Yes, we still have to teach. We still have to assess students and all of those things. But building connections is very important. And there are little examples and little opportunities throughout the day, every day when you interact with students, where you can find a point to build the connection with that student. For example, I always see what is on student sweatshirts, right? And for me, if I see a sweatshirt that says York or York Beach, York is a town in Maine. It's on the coast. My grandparents built a cottage there back in the 1960s, and so my family's been going there all the time for all those years. And so if I see a student wearing a sweatshirt, I know to ask, "Hey, Long Sands or Short Sands, which are the two beaches in town?" And I mention that because the opportunities are there if you choose to look for them, and how we build connections with students. And we want to make sure we're connecting with our students to make them feel supported, to make them feel safe, and to make them feel valued. This also can help students see the relevancy in what they're learning if we can bring a real human element to it as well. Connecting with students is not about being the cool teacher or a teacher who is like friends or friendly in that way with students. Connecting is deeper than that. It's not as superficial. And we can make efforts to connect with every single student, even if we don't have a lot in common with them. So as I mentioned earlier, with the start of a new semester, we have a big opportunity to start to build connections with a whole new set of students. Now, in my role, I will know some of them since I teach all 3 grade levels, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. I will know some from last year or 2 years ago, and others are brand new to me. And I want you to think about going, though, beyond those first few days of a new class or a new term, if that happens to be the situation you're in, because we naturally do activities to build community and build connections within those first few classes. But we want to go beyond that. We want to think, how can we connect with our students as part of what we do every day in our classroom routines, in our curriculum and what we're teaching and what we're assessing, and whether that's with health education or any other subject that you might be teaching, what can we do every day as part of our instruction and as part of our assessments and part of how we run our class to connect with our students? There are a lot of ways that we can connect with our students by embedding opportunities within our current teaching practice. So I think of opportunities related to what types of questions we are asking students to reflect upon or to answer, the scenarios that we're writing in our health education curriculum, having students who turn in learns or turn in talks, things like that. And as well as giving students a lot of choice, which we talked a little bit about last time in the previous episode. There's a new thing I want to try, though, for me, and that's mini conferences with students. Now, when students are working on projects, I check in with them frequently, but it's very quick, and it's always, and this is my own fault, always based on what they're doing on the project. What I want to start doing is, before I even give them feedback or ask questions about what they're doing, I want to make sure that I give them an opportunity to share something else. So I want to try to lead with a different question. Something that I might know about them or something I might not. But either way, that's an opportunity to build a connection with the student. I know that as I continue to teach, and I'm already 18 years in, I am finding no shortage of opportunities to connect with students. And this is something I think I will expand upon in future episodes, but I wanted to keep this one brief. However, if you are interested in being more intentional about interacting and connecting with your students, I have a challenge for you. It's a free challenge. I know it probably sounded like a sales pitch at the start there, and I apologize, but I created this last year and I had a bunch of teachers go through it, and I want to relaunch it again this year. It's the mid-year 5-day challenge, and it allows you to be intentional about how you build connections with students. What it is 5 emails. You'll get them on 5 weekdays, and they are 5 minutes each. So this is about 25 minutes of your time total, or less than that, especially if you read quickly, to be able to find different activities and different tools and resources that you can use to better build connections with your students, and to, more importantly, be intentional about it, to make that effort, to take that next step, to show students that, hey, I'm here to teach you. Obviously, I'm here to assess you and improve your health literacy or whatever you're trying to improve in the subject that you teach. But I'm also here to make sure that you are supported and that you are safe and valued. And I see you and I hear you and I acknowledge you. And I'm going to try to build that connection, even if it's something that might be a little bit difficult and challenging for me. So if you're interested in that 5-day, 5 email mid-year challenge, please check the link in the show notes. Connection is very much a theme that we'll be thinking about in future podcasts as well, but I wanted to keep this one short today, and I will see you next time. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Level Up Health Education Podcast. My name is Jeff Bartlett, and if you like this, please share it with your favorite health educators. Please subscribe on your preferred podcast platform. I also have a free newsletter, the Level Up Health Education newsletter, and you can find a link to subscribe in the show notes. And as always, thanks for your support.